Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Fee and I started a YouTube channel. I've been a little bored and tired of the whole coronavirus pandemic. Like, I'm tired of sitting down at home, and so I decided to start a channel. I just moved to Canada, and so I thought this will be a nice way to document my journey and basically to talk about all that I went through to get here and all the new experiences that I know are waiting for me and I know that are in store for me. So that's basically what my channel is about. And let me start by saying again, my name is Fee. I'm a lawyer back home in Nigeria. I used to live in Abuja, but now I live in Edmonton in Alberta, and so far so good. It's been great. So 2 years ago, I decided I wanted something different. I wanted to try living somewhere else apart from Nigeria, and everybody seemed to be going to Canada, and so I decided to try my luck with Canada. So when I started working about almost 6 years ago, I had this senior colleague in the office who kept telling me, "Oh, you should try out this Canada thing. You should do it. You have everything in place. You are young. You have a master's degree, and I'm sure if you wrote the IELTS, you would pass. You'll make a very good mark." Well, I wasn't having it at that point. I wasn't even going to hear about it. I mean, come on. I had just finished school. I had just gotten back from the UK like about a year before, and I was now making money. I wasn't depending on my parents anymore for money. I was now making some small change, and you're telling me all of a sudden from nowhere that I should pick up my life and move to another continent. And so, like, you're telling me to pick up my life that I'm just starting at this point and move all the way to a new continent. So I wasn't having it. I continued dragging my leg. Every year he would come up, "Oh, if you should do this, this is going to be really good for you. Like, you are wasting here, basically." Like, that was what he was saying. And I was like, "No, I'm not interested, and I'm not doing that." And then in 2018, sometime in 2018, I think we had the tanker fire in Lagos on a bridge. I can't remember the exact name of the bridge at the moment, but there was that fire, and everybody that was on the path of that fire was affected by the fire. You had people die, you had families just go extinct because of that fire. You had people lose their loved ones. You had people injured from the lucky ones were injured in the fire. Like, people were unidentifiable. It was scary. Like, personally, I didn't know anybody that was affected by the fire. I didn't know anyone, whether distant or close. I didn't have friends or family. I didn't know anybody that knew anybody that was affected by the fire. But those were Nigerians like me. That could have happened to anybody. I mean, like, I go on assignments at work. Like, work takes me out of Abuja sometimes, and so that could have happened to me, like, or maybe one of my work trips, or it could have happened to me even in Abuja. Like, it was just people that were going home on after a long day at work, and just like that, their life is changed forever. Either they died, or they are injured, or they lost the breadwinners. Like, so it was, ooh, that was when I started to wake up. I was like, you can just be on your own, and Nigeria will happen to you. You can, like, think you have a good life, a fair enough life. everything is working out for you. You have a good job, even if it's not the best job, you can take care of your basic needs, you can take care of your family. And it opened my eyes, like, so yeah, the money I'm making here, like, you can make all the money in the world and Nigeria will just happen to you, because there was nothing in place to ensure that those tankers are not on the road at the same time as like other people that are going to, like, you're carrying something very dangerous, you're carrying something inflammable. Like, there should have been laws or systems in place to check that they do not travel at the same time as regular people. And even if they are even on the road with us at the same time, there should have been laws to ensure, or checks to ensure that the cars, that their tankers are up to standard. And basically there should have been checks and balances to ensure that that didn't happen. And I'm not saying that abroad it doesn't happen, like this doesn't happen abroad, it does, but you would know that they have done all they can humanly possible to avoid it, and they're not just leaving things to fate or to chance to keep their citizens protected. So that was a turning point for me, and I just decided, oh, okay, I could try out this thing. Like, then there was another incident in the news that just completely, like, even when that fire happened, it fazed me, but I was still just thinking about it. Then I read about a woman. She was the chief medical director in the hospital in Kogi State. I think it was a government hospital, and she had an emergency. Like, she fell ill or something, and she needed oxygen, and they rushed her to the hospital. Like, she was the number one citizen in that hospital. She's like the Buhari, the Donald Trump of that hospital. And so they rushed her to the hospital to try to resuscitate her or whatever. She needed oxygen. They got to the hospital, had the oxygen, but had no spanner or something as silly as that to open the oxygen tank to give her access to this life-saving oxygen. Like, I can't really remember the details, but it was something very silly. Like, this woman was the number one, like, she's the baba in the hospital, and you're telling me that you didn't have a spanner to save her life. She ended up dying. So it just, no, that was just it for me. I was like, no, I need to get out of this place. I need to do all I can to move. And so I started asking questions. Like, I knew a couple of people that have been trying to do this and probably knew the way. Actually, when my colleague at the office told me about this, I actually did some research, but I wasn't interested in it, so I didn't really follow through. And so eventually I started asking questions, and I knew the first step. I had to get my my certificates assessed, and I also had to write IELTS. So I was meant to visit my sisters in the UK that year. So I just told one of them, the one in Scotland, I said, "Oh, help me pay for IELTS." Like, I'd heard different stories of, like, people writing it and having to write it over and over again. I didn't want that to be my case, and so I took the first step. In October of 2018, I wrote my IELTS, and 2 weeks later, my result was out. I passed. I didn't even know at that point what points I needed. I didn't know, like, what I needed to have scored. Right? Like, when my results came out, I sent it to my friend. I was like, this is it. And she was like, "Oh, Ify, that's so nice. Yeah, in fact, you're already in Canada. Blah blah blah. Da 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 da." And I'm like, "Okay. Is the result any good?" And I was like, yeah. So now we're just waiting for your WES, for your accreditation of your certificates. And so I did that. Like, I was so glad that I passed that in one sitting, because I'm sure if I had to do it more than once, it would have been very, very discouraging. Like, I didn't even know what I had to do. I didn't know the process. Like, basically, this my whole process was just, I was just lucky. Because now when people ask me questions, like, or when they're telling me, oh, this is what I had to do, I have to do this, I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, by December, I had my ECA, and I didn't know what to do again. Again, I was stuck. Like, I was sampling different opinions. Oh, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do this? Oh, the money. I have the money that I'm supposed to, my proof of funds, but I didn't have it with me because it was out, it was invested. And what do I do? Oh, everybody was like, oh no, okay, get your parents to give you the money, or your sister. So I had some money with my sister, and I just had her transfer it to me, and also transfer, like, give me part of the money. But the money came in dollars because it was from an investment and it was in dollars. And so I had dollars on one hand, and then my dad gave me naira. That stalled my application because I didn't know what to do. Like, I had somebody tell me, oh no, you have to change the dollars to naira. Oh no, you have to change the naira to dollars. Oh no, you can't use two different currencies for your proof of funds. Like, I was confused. I was hearing different things, like different opinions. Eventually, I just decided, they are just asking me to show that I have this money. It doesn't have to be in a particular way. So what I came to realize in the course of this my journey for this whole the whole application process was that there is no set in stone way to do this. You can go this way and B can go that way, as long as you are both following the basic principles of what you're expected to prove that you have funds. B can have the funds in just, I don't know, Ghanaian cedis, and he decides to prove it that this is how I have it in Ghanaian cedis, but you might have it in British pounds, American dollars, Canadian dollars. Ultimately, as long as you can prove that all that money is money that is accessible to you, and it meets the target for your proof of funds, like, that is it. You just have to prove that you have the funds. You don't necessarily have to prove that you have it in one currency. Like, so I heard a whole lot of different things, and it just kept me stalled. One day I just prayed. I was like, God, like, I'm stuck now. I don't know what I'm expected to do. Just show me what to do. I just thought to myself, I can prove this. I have this fund, even though they're in different currencies. I can prove it, that I have it, and that it's mine and is accessible to me. I just went with it and got my statement of account from, like, my different accounts with the different currencies, and went ahead and submitted my I submitted in February. I submitted a profile. Like, all this while I didn't have a profile. Like, I didn't even bother to have a profile. And so eventually I submitted a profile, I think in the middle of February, and then in February I got my ITA invitation to apply. So I applied, and I was told for a little bit. I didn't again, the fear setting, and then I started gathering documents. I gathered my documents, and by like March 11th, I had finished everything and submitted and made the payments, submitted my application, and so the wait started. 6 months. I was supposed to wait 6 months. 6 months might not seem like a lot, but it is. Like, when your life is just on hold, you don't know what this decision is. Like, you can't make any permanent decision. Like, I couldn't make any permanent decisions in Nigeria because like I could not make long-term investments because I wasn't sure if this was going to go through. A relationship suffered. Like I basically did not even want to be like, what was the essence of starting a relationship if you're not sure if you're even going to be in the country in the next 6 months, or if you are going to remain in the country. So like my life was just on hold. It was a long but annoying wait. 6 months came, no answer from the Canadians. I'm like, okay. 6 months was September 11th. I'm like, okay, so yeah, what am I going to do now? Eventually, I sent them a mail, I think like towards the end of September, asking, what's up? I'm yet to hear from you guys. I'm like, oh, sometimes it takes long, blah, blah, blah. Just exercise a little patience. We'll get back to you. And like a day or two after, I got a message asking me to upload an updated reference from my employer. And so I got an updated reference. I'd gotten promoted during the time of the waiting, so I updated that, sent in the reference, and then they also asked me to make a payment that I hadn't made because you were given the option to either pay it then or pay it later. And so I paid it, and then the wait started again. Like I was just floating. I didn't even know what was going on. Nothing. At some point, I just said like, whatever. My birthday was coming up in October. I took a trip. Like I wasn't bothered anymore. In my head, I was like, the highest they would do is say, oh no, we're not interested in giving you this. And so took a trip, and then one day in November, I was driving to work with my sister, my sisters, and my colleague, and there was traffic that day. Like the traffic was just, I don't know, out of nowhere. Like it wasn't normal. From like the point after we got onto our street in the estate till I got to the office, there was just traffic. And so I picked up my phone to change music while we were stuck at the traffic light, and saw that I had a message. I was like, oh, I have a message, sister, check this. And then she checked it. She goes, oh, I can't, what's your password? I'm like, oh, I just tell Apple to remember password or suggest password. I don't know it. Bring it. I opened the phone, and then she checked, and then she was reading, oh, blah, blah, blah. They said you should bring your passport, blah, blah, blah. They're requesting your passport. Like, we were reading the mail, all of us. We didn't even understand what was going on in the mail because, like, I don't know. I've never really followed the whole process. Like, I didn't really understand what was going on. Anyway, eventually it became clear when I got to the office and spoke to my colleague who had been in the process and knows the whole thing and know people who were doing it. It's like, oh, this was what they said. They said, Ify, welcome to Canada. And I was like, hey, yeah, that's what it is. And then we screamed in the office, and everybody was like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. And then eventually did that. I went, submitted my it was on Friday that I got the mail. On Monday, I went, took my passport, submitted my passport to them, and my visa approved. Like, I was so happy, but it was scary. Like, I was worried. I didn't know what to expect. I've never been here. I don't know anybody here. And so it was a very scary decision. Everybody kept saying, man, I envy your courage. You don't know anybody there. You're not even going to a place where you know people. And I'm like, it's a journey I would start. I just want a better life for myself. And so I just kept encouraging people, if you can do it, do it. Just have another option. Nigeria is my first love. And I would eventually move back there, but I just wanted to give myself another opportunity to see if this is even what I want, it might not be what I want, and I might decide that I don't want to stay here. So I just so far so good. It's been fair. I would continue to film videos to just basically educate you guys about what I did, processes, and what to expect when you do it and when you eventually come here. So if there are any questions that you have, if you're in the middle of doing this and you have some questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm good with answering questions. I'm good with helping with my experience. But just note that it's just my own understanding of the whole process and my own personal experience. It's not necessarily it's not the advice of a professional. This is from personal experience. So please send me your questions and I would be happy to answer them. And please like, comment, and subscribe. I see that that's what all the YouTubers that I watch, that's what I see that's what the YouTubers who I follow, who I watch say. Like, comment, and subscribe. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please feel free. I'm here to answer you. I don't have work yet. Corona, I like that story for another day. Corona, I just came at the wrongest of time, if there's an English word like that. But yeah, we're here and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.